to Tom the Tale Teller's YouTube channel. That's me, Tom the Tale Teller, and this is premiering on a very special day. It's World Book Day, and it's a day to celebrate books for all ages. I've been asked by Packington School to tell some stories today. This one is for Key Stage 1. So hello Key Stage 1. People, their children who are in today will be watching this as it premieres, and the link should have been shared with parents at home, so anyone homeschooling still can watch it there. It'll also be up on my YouTube channel going forward for anyone to watch and catch up with after this. Now, the reason they asked me to come and tell some stories is because I'm not just a storyteller, but I'm also an author. I've written a couple of books, and let me show you those books. So I have Leicestershire Folk Tales for Children and Forest Folk Tales for Children. Now these are full of stories, ideal to read to younger children or for older children to read themselves. This one is stories from around Leicestershire, and this one is stories from Scotland all the way down through England and Wales and down to the south coast. Stories about woodland creatures, forest stories, as it says. And so they're not my own stories, they're stories that have lived in the land for many, many, many years, told by the folk who live there and passed down through the generations. And I've just taken those stories, found them, taken them and rewritten them and made them interesting to read for younger audiences. And they're full of lovely illustrations and things. This one's got some poems and some why don't yous and did you knows in there as well. So they're available from me through my Facebook, Tom the Tale Teller on Facebook, or through Amazon or any other book selling websites. Though if you buy it through me, I can send them out in the post and they'll be signed. I can put a little dedication there for you. Anyway, that's who I am. That's why I'm here today. I'll put these books back because I'm an author. But the stories I write, as I say, they've been passed down from mouth to ear for many a year. And so I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story that I heard many years ago, a story that explains something that I always found very odd. You see, I spent some time in America a lifetime ago, way before kids, way before I got married. This was after I'd left school and I was looking for adventure. And so I went to America and I stayed in the Adirondack Mountains, a mountain range covered in pine forests and lakes. And I had a couple of run-ins with a bear. And this bear, I saw him in the afternoon. I scared him away. He was eating M&Ms that he was being fed by a little 4-year-old boy on the summer camp that I was staying at. And I managed to rescue the 4-year-old boy and scare the bear away before the bear decided to eat him. And I saw the bear in the evening. Again, we chased him off camp before he ate any of the children. And we heard him snuffling around at night time looking for food, but we never saw bear in the morning, and I thought that was strange. Another creature that I saw whilst I was out there, a lot cuter. It was the little chipmunk. Now you may know Alvin, Simon and Theodore, the chipmunks. Do. Well, real life chipmunks, they're so cute. They're about the size of my hand, that big. Little, like squirrels crossed with mice, and they're hazelnut brown on top with a white chest and a little flicky tail, and they've got black and white lines down their back. And I always wondered how they got those markings down their back. Then a few years later, when I became a storyteller, I heard this story, and it explains both why bear doesn't come out in the morning and why chipmunk has 3 lines on his back. And this is the story. My story starts long ago. Long ago. In a time before time. In a time before you and I. In a time before even your grown-ups. I know your grown-ups are very old, so this is a very long time ago. In a time before there were any grown-ups or any people on the earth. A time when the earth was ruled by animals who all spoke the same language. In a time before zebra got his stripes, before rhino had his wrinkles, before robin had his red breast. There was one animal amongst them all in the forests of the world that could talk and walk on 2 legs, not just 4. All the other animals walked on 4, but Bear could rise up onto his hind legs and walk through the forest. Oh, this is my bear, by the way. He's really big and scary, isn't he? Wow. He's not scary, is he? Just a quick note about my bear. His name is Big Ted. I know he's not very big, but he was when I first got him. You see, I was about the same size as Bear when I got him. He was my first teddy bear when I was a baby, and I love him so much still. He's so snuggly and cuddly, and he's been with me ever since. So he's the same age as me. How old? Well, let's just say he's as old as my gums, but older than my teeth. Talk to your teachers or your grown-ups. They might be able to tell you. Now, this bear is going to help me tell the story. Bear could walk on 2 legs, and because he was the only animal who could walk on 2 legs, he thought he was the best animal of them all. He thought he could do anything because of this. And he would tell everyone about it. He would walk around the forest boasting, "I am Bear. I am the best. I can do anything better than the rest." Now, there's a bit of a problem with people who boast. Other people don't like them. I'm sure you've seen people boasting. Maybe you've been boasting in the classroom or the playground, running around saying, "I'm the best footballer in the world," or "I'm the best dancer in the world, better than all you." And all your friends have gone, ugh. Because nobody likes people who show off and boast. And the animals didn't like Bear. "I am Bear. I am the best. I can do anything better than the rest," he would say. Well, one day, Chipmunk decided to do something about it. Now, Chipmunk, back in these before times, he didn't have the lines down his back. He was a hazelnut brown with a white chest and tiny little thing. And he went up to Bear one day as he was singing the song, "I am Bear. I am the best. I can do anything better than the rest." And he shouted up, "Anything!" And Bear looked round. "Who said that?" And then he looked down. "Oh, Chipmunk, what do you mean, anything?" And Chipmunk said, "You said you could do anything better than the rest. Can you really do anything?" Well, Bear thought, and think, and thunk, and he said, "Yes, I can do anything at all." And Chipmunk said, "Prove it." "Okay," said Bear. "How do you want me to prove it? What should I do?" And Chipmunk said, "Stop the sun coming up in the morning." Stop the sun coming up in the morning, thought Bear. Well, he couldn't do that. Nobody can do that, can they? Well, Bear had already said he could do anything, and he didn't want to look silly, so he said, "Okay, I will." And so it was. It was agreed that Bear was going to stop the sun coming up the next morning. And that news spread like wildfire. It spread like wildfire throughout the woodlands and the forests of the land. And all the animals and all the birds, well, they heard. And they all gathered the very next morning as the sky turned from the inky black to the soft grey just before it starts to turn blue. And they all gathered. And you can see them here, some of them. We've got, up in the trees, look, we've got Robin. There he is. Down here we've got Rabbit. Here's Rabbit. There we've got Mouse. Why, hello, Mouse. And here, look, we've even got Dennis. Dennis, my dragon, has come along to see Bear stopping the sun coming up in the morning. Bear sat there on the edge of a great big cliff overlooking the hills in the east where the sun would rise, and Chipmunk sat next to him. And the birds and the beasts and Bear and Chipmunk watched as the sky turned from grey to a dull blue. And then the delicate pinks and oranges and blues of the morning started to appear, and the sun began to poke its head above the horizon. Bear knew it was his time, so he stood up. He cleared his throat, and he began to shout, "Sun! Sun! I am Bear, and I am telling you to stay in bed today. Don't come up this morning. Go back to bed." And he sat down, happy with what he'd done. And the birds and the beasts and Chipmunk watched as the sun went which way? Do you think? Up or down? Which way? Up. Yes, up. Of course, it went up. It went up and up and up until now the sun was a semicircle above the mountains, bright and orange. And Chipmunk started to giggle. And the birds and the beasts, they started to titter. And Bear felt a bit embarrassed, and so he got up and tried again. He shouted a bit louder this time. "Sun! Oh, sun! I am Bear, and in case you didn't hear me, I am ordering you to stay in bed." He sat down, hoping, above all hope, that would do the trick. And all the animals and all the birds and Chipmunk and Bear watched as the sun, this time, which way do you think it went? Up or down? Which way? Up. Yeah, it went up. It carried on going up. The sun rose and rose and rose until it was a great orange in the sky. And the sky was pink and purple and yellow and blue. And Chipmunk was rolling on the floor on his back, laughing, a big hearty belly laugh. The animals, they were laughing too. And the birds were laughing so hard they nearly fell off their perches. But Bear wasn't laughing. He was getting cross. "Stop it! Stop it! Stop laughing!" And then the birds, they began to do what birds do best. They began to sing a song, and it went like this. And you can join in too when you know the words. I'll sing it a few times. It's dead simple. It goes like this. Sun, sun, coming out. Sun, sun, coming out. Bear can scream, bear can shout. Sun still coming out. And the animals, they liked the song so much, they joined in too. Sun, sun, coming out. Sun, sun, coming out. Bear can scream, bear can shout. Sun still coming out. And Bear started to shout, "Stop it! Stop it!" He got madder and madder. "Stop singing that song!" And then Chipmunk sang the song as well, and you can sing too, I'm sure. Are you ready? Sun, sun, coming out. Sun, sun, coming out. Bear can scream, bear can shout. Sun still coming out. Very good singing. Hope the grown-ups were doing it too. Well, Bear got so cross, he looked down at Chipmunk and said, You did this to me. You made me look silly." And he took his great big hulking paw and he brought it down heavy upon Chipmunk. And Chipmunk's head stuck out between two razor-sharp claws, and he began to try and say something. "What? What are you saying?" said Bear. Bear realised that Chipmunk couldn't breathe, and it was only right to let Chipmunk have a few last words before Bear ate him. And so he lifted up his paw just a little bit to let Chipmunk breathe. That's all Chipmunk needed. He wiggled and he squiggled. Can you wiggle and squiggle? He wiggled and squiggled and squeezed. Let me see you do it too. That's it. squeezed out from underneath the paw of Bear. And when Bear realised what was going on, he sunk his razor-sharp claws into Chipmunk's back. And then he began to scratch. And he scratched out the lines you now see down Chipmunk's back. Chipmunk ran off in a lot of pain, and having learnt a very important lesson, to not upset a bear. And he's still got those lines, and those lines that the bear scratched down Chipmunk's back are there to remind Chipmunk of that lesson he learned. But of course, the animals and the bear and the birds were still singing. Ready? Sun, sun coming out, sun, sun coming out. Bear can scream, bear can shout, sun still coming out. And Bear couldn't stop them from singing. And so Bear turned and he ran. Roar! He ran all the way back home, all the way back to his cave, where he went to the very back of the cave where his bed was. He dived under the covers and he put a pillow over his head, and so he couldn't hear them. And that's where he stayed all morning. Now, children, what do birds do, even to this day, first thing in the morning when the sun starts to come up? What do? They sing. That's right, they sing. Birds sing a beautiful dawn chorus. And now, if you go out and listen to the birds first thing in the morning, you'll hear lots of different sounds, lots of different songs. But sometimes you hear that one song that goes like this. And if you listen really carefully, you'll hear that song is sun, sun coming out, sun, sun coming out. Bear can scream, bear can shout, sun still coming out. And because the birds still sing that, even to this day, Bear stays in his bed in the morning because he doesn't want to be reminded of the time when he was so boastful and he was made to look a fool. Bear isn't boastful anymore. Bear's actually a very kind and generous member of the animal kingdom, but he learned a lesson the hard way. Thank you very much for listening to my story. Thank you very much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Packington Primary School, and especially Key Stage 1, who this story is for. It's been an absolute pleasure to record this for you. If you'd like to support me, Tom the Tale Teller, as a storyteller, this is my business, and I do feed my children with the income. So no pressure here, but just a joke. I do have links below, and you may have been sent links as well, to the World Storytelling Cafe and my page on there. It's a wonderful, wonderful site where storytellers from all over the world have been invited to come and tell stories and record videos. And I've got a couple of videos on there. And the best thing about it is that there's a little hat symbol on my page. And if you click on that, you can donate some money. It could be £1, it could be £10, it could be £1 million. If you just, if you've got £1 million just squirreled away and you think, I need to use that, I'm quite happy to have that. But anything, really, anything you can give would be great. It really helps in these really trying times for performers who we can't get out and tell to real audiences. I'm very much hoping that when everything gets better, maybe after the summer, I might be able to come to the school, to Packington School, and tell you some stories face to face. And if anybody else wants me to come and tell stories, any school or anything, you may be watching this on my channel, please get in touch, drop me a message, nip over to Facebook and like me over there, and drop me a message there. Don't forget to like and subscribe down the bottom there, and click on the bell icon. That will tell you when any new videos go up. I'm hoping to do some more going forward about folklore, and they'll be for grown-ups. You get to find out a bit about the places that I visit. Thank you so much. Don't forget my books are on sale. You can get them through me or on Amazon. And I shall leave it there. You've been fantastic. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And I hope to see you soon. Bye. 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 you.